but Beyond Meat is definitely one that I'm looking at. So I'll do a little bit of an analysis and then let's come to a trade setup, right? So
Sounds good.
I know for a fact that Beyond Meat is it's one of these stickers, and everybody has kind of a negative opinion about it. And I would say if we look at the chart for a good reason, because we're constantly making lower highs and lower lows. Simply put, that means that we're downtrending and that we need to be very careful because for our strategy, right, we're going long. Just we're longing and we're looking for percentage move to the upside. So at the moment, we got to be still very careful because this is still sliding down. And just because we're up here today a little bit can't convince me that the bottom is in, but I do have some good levels that we can just play from. Very simply, I'll give you a couple of levels, and the idea is that we wait for a move below one of these levels, and that after closing a 1 hour candlestick back above that same level, right, that 1 hour candlestick closure back above the level is our long position, and I'll make it as clean as possible. So first level that I'm interested in is 558. And from what I can see, at least on my chart, is that we've come very close this week. So if I zoom in here, right, we've previously made a low in October of 2023. And in this week, we came very close, but we've not hit that low. What I think, right, the base case here is that that is a bull trap, so that people will think too early that this is actually ready for a good move to the upside, and that we will still come down to, at the very least, get below 558. But that is then also the level that if we get below that level, lots of people here, right, will look at today and will say, well, perfect, we're up today. Let's go long on this and let's put a stop loss either on the low of this week or under that all-time low. And what is most likely to happen here as we're downtrending is that these people are going to end up selling, going to end up hitting their stop loss below these lows. Now, if we then see that price manages to creep back above that level, we get a low risk long and we can put our stop loss, right, under whatever the low is that is made below 558 here before we close the 1 hour candlestick back above. So I don't know yet, right, perfectly where I can give you a fixed stop loss. You will have to see for yourself after we went below 558 and after we then closed back above. You just manually and visually check on your chart. Okay, where did Beyond Meat now actually make a new low? I'm gonna put my stop loss there and we're aiming back to the upside, back to all these lower highs here, where a ton of people are going to have stop losses from shorts. So a good first target to aim for if we get in a position based around that 558 level, I would say is going to be 766. And if we get above 766, I would take 75% of the position there. If we get above that, maybe the squeeze really gets going and my next target would be at 1031. So I'm not expecting the world from this. I'm not here to invest or swing trade this for years, but I would like to get a move back to, again, target 1, 766 and target 2, 1031 for the remainder of the position there. And I hope that that makes sense, Duck. I know very likely that you understand what I'm saying here with the entry and the stop loss and the targets, right? That's the first option. I'm
Yeah.
going to give multiple options, right? Because it's not about having 20 tickers on your watch list. It's about having a couple and having so many options that whatever price does, it's not going to surprise us. And we're going to more likely make profit from it. Now, say in this downtrend, we actually break down lower and this thing goes and makes another lower low, a new all-time low. And again, sentiment will be in the floor, people getting max bearish when things are already in a late stage of breaking down. I just want to point to everyone's attention that there's going to be two very specific levels, just like 558, where I'm looking, right, to position myself long. And those levels are going to be 452 and 346. So 452, 346, and the level above that, which we just talked about, is going to be 558. And so, like I said, the entry criterion for all these three positions is the same exact thing. You want to get below the level, then get back above the level and close a 1 hour candlestick back above that level. And that is your entry point. Now, mind you, I will repeat this, that implies a 1 hour candlestick closure back above that level during regular trading hours. So no business taking position after hours or pre-market, right? Now, same thing goes for the stop loss. I can't give you a fixed number. Your task, Duck, right, is to simply look, and that's a good exercise for everyone. After the price gets below 452, we don't know yet if it gets back above. Maybe it just continues down lower to another very specific level where we can look at. But if it gets back above and does close a 1 hour candlestick back above, inevitably you will always have a low that is made below your level of interest. And maybe sometimes it is just a wick to that level, and then the stop loss is slightly below that wick. Or sometimes you nuke below a level, actually spend some time trading below that level, and then close back above. That 1 hour candlestick closure back above is your entry, and the stop loss under the low that is made below 452. Now, obviously, if that low is somewhere if it does something like this, where it goes very deep to our second level, but does not hit it, and then inevitably gets back above this level, we'll update, because we also don't want to put our stop loss super, super far away and already running towards the next level. But as a general rule of thumb, that's very simple. And so targets for the position based around 452, I would say 75% can come off at 558. And then I would essentially suggest leaving 25% of your position running literally open-ended. And you are going to manage that however you want. Either you're going to trail your stop loss to break even or to profit, or you're simply, well, looking to get the most out of that runner, but securing 75% of the position at the very least at that hard level above you. And so if we get into a position from 346, right, that first target is going to be all the way at 452. So I'm really looking for the move from level to level. I don't know from which level it stops, but I know that I want to play from one of my levels to one of my levels above me, right? So that gives 1, 2, 3 options and 3 very specific levels of Beyond Meat to basically look below us. But, and I say that in the coaching also, I don't want to be seen as someone who is just very rigid and I say, well, price has to come down. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe it doesn't need to come down, right? But then I need to see some more follow through here. And what I need to see to get interested to basically long from higher prices is that first and foremost, we close a weekly candlestick above 6.51. And only if that happens, right, Doug, I will DM you and I will literally give you the details. But I just want to give that perspective that it's more likely that it comes down. But as a smart bull, right, you want to be prepared for those levels and you actually don't care whether that hits tomorrow or next week. You just need those levels. And at some point in the future, if you hit them, it's time to look closely at 1 hour candlestick close back above, right? So I think that kind of does it for Beyond Meat, with the 3 levels below us and then the 1 level which we need to close a weekly above. And again, if that happens, I will update you in a DM or so, Doug, or I will post an update on this in my chat with Jay or whatever, and we'll get going on Beyond Meat from there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, good. Do you want to go over the next one?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Good, nice. So if anything isn't clear, dude, you gotta just tell me. Just gonna double check. Yeah, those levels are all very good to play from. Let's kind of stay in the loop with things that have not done very well so far, and then we'll also look at some things that are uptrending. So right now, Beyond Meat doesn't really take a rocket scientist to see that we're downtrending, right? And we can still go long, but we need to be very close to the local low. And typically people say, well, play with the trend. So if we're bullish, we can only play with uptrends. But actually, with this strategy, we can also long downtrends because we know where we're very likely going to hit some kind of support. And we can do that. So we'll take another one that is currently downtrending. And then maybe let's take a look at 2 tickers that are uptrending. And so then we have 4 updates, 2 things that are basically downtrending and 2 that are uptrending. And on all of them, we're just looking to go long.